This is gonna be a whole bunch of accessory work, and actually I was called out. Check that out. That's my evening workout buddy, Leo. Kai goes over in the corner hanging out in her bed. This is who I work out with when Alexis is at work. And Sophia added everybody in the Aerobic group. She was at everybody. Let's see those tabletop holds. I can't be the only one having issues with them. So as I try to navigate myself into a tabletop hold, it's 20, 40 seconds, it's 4 sets. It's something that I really don't see done very often. This is accessory work. Both of the things you're gonna see here are accessory work. This was programmed as something to open up people's shoulders. Now, everyone tries to get better snatch, better overhead position for their jerks and whatever what you might name it, from that kyphotic position. Nobody ever really thinks about trying to open up their upper body in this manner. But also, Sophia's having an issue with her hips. It looks like, from all of the toes to bar and all of the sitting. Glutes look to be a little bit weak. So hamstrings appear to be a little bit weak. She says that her hamstrings cramped in the comments. It's probably because they're working so hard for the first time ever. If I were to give Sophia a prescription, it would be, hey, I know I programmed these once, but you should probably do them 2 or 3 times a week. Do the 4 sets, do them as your own personal accessory work. Here's some more. This is the accessory piece from Monday. And the reason that I'm putting this on here is because I find a lot of inspiration through the internet, whether it be for creating content on the main channel, whether it be for creating content on this channel, my own fitness. And I think that a lot of people can garner inspiration from some things on the internet. Let me tell you what I'm talking about in particular here. Got 2 angles, one of which, because they're wall balls and because you guys got to be able to see my squat depth, and I know the bike was in the way, and I have all of these cameras, so I might as well set them all up. The workout, by the way, is, as an accessory piece, it's not a workout, it's just a little bit extra. I'm gonna go a lot into what I'm doing here, but 5 rounds every 2 minutes. You do 15 calories on the bike, you do 10 wall balls. That is a 20-pound wall ball. This workout is super stupid, freaking easy. Like, it's not hard, but you can make anything hard, right?
That's what she said.
Now, some people, like, I'm thinking top of the top, like James Sprague, he could probably do this for 10,000 rounds and he would never get tired. But for me, I listened to something. It was John Young. He was talking on like the ranking show.
They went to the top 1% in the open, and I knew the open wasn't going to change, and it's just an aerobic test. So like, there's no point. Like, I'm not going to make the 1% in the open no matter what. I think the fittest version of myself on drugs would not make the 1% of the open.
You would make the 1%.
No. I really don't. I really don't think I would.
Lifting and you
make
just
the one. Yes, because I did that the first time, CJ, and it.
Oh, you took drugs?
Like, no. I just
talking about how he could never make the top 1% of the open. And I remember back to one of these Tyson videos I was doing with his dad, Travis, and I was telling him, hey, I could probably make the top 1%. It was after a couple of weeks of the open. I was out with Tyson, and he's like, no, you couldn't. So I did the math, and I actually literally could not. After my first week's open score last year, it was the workout with the lunges and the burpees and the dumbbell. What was the other movement? It was like a snatch. The week 1 workout was something where like 250 was a good score. And I think I did that one a couple of times. But I remember that myself, along with a couple of other people, it really took them out from the tippy top of the spear. I remember Tia, actually, last year during the open, she was doing all that high rock stuff, and she had a score that wasn't typical for her. Now, I heard John Young say, it's all an aerobic test. There's nothing that I can do. So I want to be the thing that I tell everybody that my members can be, which is, I believe that this program is good for everybody. I think that it can get you in the top 1% in the open. I think that it can get you to place well in the quarterfinals, and potentially, if you do it properly, because intent is the major driver behind everybody who's doing anything anywhere. It's how you do it along with what you're doing. But I think the biggest thing, the biggest lever you can pull is how you do it. I'll tell you more about how this is to be done in a minute, but I think that this and the accessory work and a lot of programs is the thing that could take you into the upper echelon, that 1%, that doing well in the quarterfinal. It's things that I've seen happen on the program in the past, and with this, the intention is to hang on to something sustainable and scary for everyone who would be doing it. Now, for me, I say now a lot when I'm talking. It's like now. I'm gonna stop saying now. You'll never hear it ever again. Doing this workout, I wanted to hang on to 75 RPMs, which in the past shouldn't be anything crazy. But I'm not what I once was. It's so what I just told you, it's kind of scary, right? It's not scary for a lot of people. Maybe there's gonna be some women who would do this thing and they're gonna go, hey, that's not that hard. Also, 10-pound wall ball, it's only 50 reps. The idea behind accessory work is not to beat you down, but it is to improve. It is to excel. It is to gather more data points on the things that you are doing. So every time I finish up a set right there, I'm looking at the clock. I want them to be consistent. My first 2 rounds were about 55 seconds remaining, meaning every single round was 105. Also, you can't tell really, but I'm checking out my heart rate. I wrote them on the board over there. Round number 1 was 138. Round number 2 was 149 there was like the peak. That's the highest it went to. So upon the last wall ball, I looked down real quick. I checked out the heart rate. It kind of climbs for a couple of seconds after, maybe 10 to 20 seconds after the final wall ball. And then it starts to fall down a little bit before you get back into the bike. It's something that I like to monitor on interval pieces such as this, on accessory pieces in particular. And then on the 3rd round, it goes up to 162. On the 4th round, and this is an interesting phenomenon for anybody interested, I think that this is why warming up is so important, doing a proper warm up. My 4th round was 158. My 5th round was 157. I'm doing all of this on a Garmin, so who knows how entirely accurate it is, but it seems rather accurate within itself. And a proper warm up will allow each new round that you do to be felt, I mean, it felt like they were easier. Honestly, I was hanging on to the exact same 75. I was doing the rounds as fast, if not faster than my first 2 rounds, but because I was properly warm, my body was kind of functioning the way that it should. Now, the perceived effort along with the heart rate in relation to that perceived effort is lower round over round. If I were to be doing 15 to 20, definitely 20 wall balls on this piece, the intervals would be becoming so short, the rest time would be becoming longer. Maybe on the 2.5, that would make a little bit more sense with what I'm telling you in relation to the heart rate climbing and dropping. It would start to just climb. It would just be climbing. So it would probably go round 1, 148, round 2, 158, and then it would be 165, and then I'd be in the 170s upon the 4th round. And that's not an accessory piece. If you're getting into like the 170s and then you're into the 180s on something where you're supposed to be, and I'm writing down my heart rates right there because when it fluctuated there and it dropped, I go, frick, I'm not gonna be able to remember this. Usually I can remember if they climb. I have a pretty good recall on 148, 158, 162. I'm pretty good at that. But when they go down, it's like, I'm gonna forget these, so I wrote it down. And I wanna keep what I'm doing round over round the same. So there's not like I'm sitting down, I'm drinking water. If you're drinking water, it might change the way that you're breathing in between the intervals. And if you sit or stand versus hang on to a pull-up bar, all of those things are gonna change the way that you're responding to the intervals each and every new round. I think I might be getting lost in the weeds a little bit because the intention of this video was I want to be the example for the people on the program, and I know I can't sign up for the Open because, you know, the testosterone stuff, but I haven't been as fit as I've been in a couple years past. I used to be, in my opinion, not in my opinion, analytically, statistically, I would do the Open workouts once or twice, usually twice, and maybe even 3 times in those years where the Open really mattered. I'd do it 3 or 4 times even because I wanted every little inch to get as high as I could on the leaderboard. And it was fun. It was a game. And I think it meant a lot to a lot of people. And it was cool to see where you stacked up against literally everybody on the planet. But this past year, nope, didn't have a shot. And I remembered that today when I was listening to John. I garnered a little bit of inspiration for this in particular. And I think a lot of people can just come in and they can just do the workout of the day. So on this day, it was 5 sets of 2 front squat at a percentage from the weight given last week, which was 5 sets of 1, which was a percentage of a squat from the week previous. It was a building squat cycle. We're on the 3rd week of that. We're going to be going into the 4th week next week. And then there was a workout, which was not leg dominant, which followed by this, which was just a little bit of extra squatting. That's it. A little bit of extra on your lungs, a little bit of extra on your heart rate. For everybody who's interested, I do think that if you have time to do a separate session of the day, I mean, hell, how many people on the planet have a bike and a wall ball at their houses? I would say more people than not, especially a lot of people who follow programs like mine on the internet. By the way, if you're interested in any of it, link in the description below and you can see all of this stuff. This is the stuff that I'm talking about. Every Sunday, you get a link to the live stream where you're going to be able to hear me talk about this stuff a little bit more in depth. Maybe not exactly the same as I'm presenting it right now, but you could ask questions and say, hey, what do we want this workout to look like? I don't think that people utilize myself on that call quite as much as they could. It's mostly people hanging out, which is cool as well. Sunday morning, everyone's chilling. But there's also the Facebook group where people like Sophia are saying, what's up with my hamstrings? And I can post stuff like me and Leo doing them in the evening, the freaking tabletop holds. I think that doing all of these things properly for extended amounts of time, you will see crazy progress. I've seen thousands of people, as I said, one of my recent Tanner Shuck videos, through my affiliate, just doing the stuff with the proper intent. Because this right here, it's not easy for me. I know I'm just biking and I'm just doing 10 wall balls. It's only 10 wall balls. But I will get better tomorrow because of it. I'm not going to feel, I feel great. I'm freaking riled up sitting here talking to you guys after I haven't done this workout. The intent is to get off of the bike, pick the wall ball up as fast as possible. I haven't made mention that in my garage, it is literally freaking impossible to do a 10-foot wall ball. If I ever do anything of importance, I have to do my wall balls somewhere else because that white tape line, as you can see, that's Alexis's 9-foot target. If I hit 10 feet, it also hits the ceiling, which it will rebound. The wall ball will come down quicker to come to me, meaning every round after that is essentially a no rep. I think that was the final round. And after the final round, I just want to take a note about what my heart rate is upon the end of the interval. And I think it was 110. So upon the end of all of this, it got all the way up to 158 on that 5th round, which of course wasn't as high as the 3rd round, but then it trickled down to 110 at the end of it. It's, I believe, one of the best metrics that you can see for your recoverability. What is your max heart rate? What is your resting heart rate? And then how quickly do you come down from top to bottom? And if you are truly messed up, sometimes that number won't come down for minutes. Sometimes it won't come down for hours. I think Dallin Pepper recently said that about his Echo bike at Wadapalooza. His heart rate just never, ever came down. So this entire thing here was spawned from listening to the Wad Prep podcast with CJ, Claire, and John. And they're just thinking, John, I can't do it. It's never going to happen. Hey, dude, don't say that because it's the if you shoot for the moon, even if you miss, you end up in the stars phenomenon. I'm going to try to be with what I can't enter as in the CrossFit Open, top 1%. We'll see if that's feasible. I think it is. I'm literally convinced that anybody who follows the program and does it with the intentions given can get to as high of a capability as they would like to be. The only caveat to that is if you want to go to the CrossFit Games, you probably shouldn't follow the program. I don't know how to get people to the CrossFit Games, but I know how to get people into the quarterfinals, perform well in the quarterfinals, get into the semifinals, got them into the regionals in the past. And I've been doing this far longer than anybody freaking imagines. And the thing that I'll always tell people is that if you think that I'm good at making videos, which a lot of you can't even argue that I'm good at making videos, I believe that I am better at writing workouts and getting people into the best shape of their lives. That's it. Bye.